Hello everyone and welcome to another video on the analysis question of section A of the Edexcel IGCSE English Language B question paper. So in this video we will be taking a look at how to answer the introduction part of the answer of the analysis question. As we know from a previous video, we need to write down the whole answer using a certain format. Well, there's another. There are two formats on of the analysis question. The first one is TAPT, which we will use for writing the introduction part of the analysis. And then secondly, there is the P format, point, evidence and explanation, PEE, which we will use for writing the rest of the analysis. So every writing should have a introduction. An introduction that will let the examiner know that we have understood what the question has asked us to do. And based on that, we will write a brief introduction on the analysis. On the text that we will be analyzing, we have to write an introduction. So that introduction we will write using the TAPT format. So what does TAPT mean? So basically, TAPT stands for text, audience, purpose, and tone of the writing. In using this format, we will write the introduction in which we will be saying what the text, audience, purpose, and tone of the writing are. We have to keep in mind that while we answer the point, evidence, and explanation in the rest of the answer, we need to keep in mind what the text, audience, purpose, and tone of the writing are. Based on these four things, we will be handling the point, evidence, explanation part as well. But to write the introduction, we will exclusively use this format. So what do the text, audience, and purpose and tone mean? So the text part, in the text part, we will be writing down or stating the text number, name of the text, source of the text, and the author's name. This is very basic. There is nothing much more to do. All of this is already written in the text. In the very first few lines, you will be seeing what the text number is, whether it is text 1 or 2, what the name of the text is, what is the, by the name of the text, it means the title of the text, what the source of the text is, whether it is adapted from an article or novel or a radio broadcast or etc., and what the author's name is. Next, after stating the text, we will move on to the audience. In the audience part, we will be analyzing and deducing and here stating what the audience of the text is. By audience, that is, we mean the people for whom this text was written. Every text is written for a certain demographic or a certain uh, group of people. Not every text will interest every people. These stories or these articles, these texts are written for certain people. For example, Game of Thrones is written for Game of Thrones, the TV series, is written for TV series, or the book is written for an adult audience, whereas Harry Potter can uh, cater to people of a wide variety of uh, age. For example, teenagers or not toddler. I don't think toddlers. Okay, toddlers, uh, teenagers, adults. Many kinds of people will like them. But Game of Thrones is written only for adults. So most texts are written, texts or stories or articles are written for only a certain demographic of people or a certain group of people. We have to deduce that and write that in the introduction part. So how will we deduce the audience of a text? We can deduce the audience of a text by analyzing the subject of the text, the vocabularies used in the text, and the type of language used in the text. So let's see further into that using some examples. For deducing the subject of the text, let's look at this paragraph here, or this line here, it says, this latest model is a beautiful car. Its impressive engine can send you shooting from 0 to 60 miles per hour in less than 8 seconds. So take a moment to find out what kind of audience this text or this line or this paragraph can cater to. So here is the answer. This text is written for someone who is interested in high performance cars. We can see that they have the whoever has written this has gone into the depth of the performance of the car. He has mentioned some statistics that he or she has mentioned some statistics that it can go from 0 to 60 miles per hour in less than 8 seconds. Someone who is really interested in high performance cars will love to see these details, and so the audience is someone who is interested in high performance cars. Someone who isn't interested in high performance cars won't be really interested or engaged by the statistics that this car can go from 0 to 60 in 8 seconds. Next up, let's look at an example on how to analyze the audience from the vocabularies used. So here in this paragraph, we can see today we witnessed a discussion on fox hunting. As one can imagine, the issue, although it has been debated for many years, still managed to elicit mixed emotions from all concerned. So here we can see that they have used some complex vocabularies, some words such as elicit, which can simply mean bring out, but instead of saying bring out, they have used elicit. So since they have used some sophisticated vocabulary, it suggests that it was written for an adult audience. Someone from a younger demographic or a young audience cannot easily deduce what elicit might mean. So it is we can deduce that the audience of this text is someone adult. Next up, let's look at an example how to deduce the audience from the type of language used. So in this text, it says, the next hole was a par 3 and I hit my tee shot directly onto the green. Sadly, my putting let me down badly and I ended up getting a bogey. So here there has been extensive usage of some technical words. All of these technical words suggest that it was written for someone who is uh, a professional or who knows a lot about the game of golf. So so we can deduce that the audience of this text was someone who knows quite a bit about golf, because someone who does not know a lot about golf won't understand much from this text. They won't know what par 3 means, what tee shot means, what bogey means. So all of these things, all of these technical words can only be understood by someone who knows a lot about golf. So the naturally the audience of this text is someone who knows about golf. So now that we are done with the audience part of the TAPT format for writing the introduction of the analysis, let's look at the purpose. In the purpose part, we will be stating the reason for which the text was written by the author. Every author writes a text for a certain reason, and here in this part we will be mentioning or stating what that purpose of writing the text was. There are mainly four uh, there are mainly four purposes for writing a text. A writer can write a text to inform, to argue or persuade, to entertain, or to advise something. So we will be needing to analyze the text and find out why this purpose was written, and we have to state that. Most of the times, this purpose is written in short in italics in the very beginning of the text under the title, probably. So it is not very difficult to deduce. And finally, we have to write down the tone. We have to state the tone, that is the feeling the words are written with, which creates a particular mood and shows the attitude of the writer. So we have to mainly find out what kind of a tone the writer is using. The tone can either be happy or sad, serious or funny, somber or lighthearted, emotional and cool, or passionate or logical, or a lot of things. We have to read the text and find out what kind of a tone the story or the text carries, and then state that in the writing. So let's look at a final example of how we can deduce the text from a writing from or from a text. So here you can see a text. It is text one of the June 2020 question paper of English Language B of Edexcel. So take a moment or pause the video and read the text from here, or you can take out your question paper from your book or from a PDF on online, and then read the text. After reading the text, try to find out the TAPT by your own. So now that you have read the text, let's look at what the answer or what the depth or what the introduction of the analysis question will be. So after you have read the text and have started writing your analysis, the introduction paragraph you will write using TAPT. Here you will first state the text, that is this text one, this text one of June 2020 question paper. This text one, passport out of here, is adapted from an article by Marian Keyes. The audience, the audience of the text are people interested in traveling or those who have experienced losing important documents. Of course, as this text was uh, written by Marian Keyes to mention what she had gone through while she was visiting her sister, I guess, in New York, and lost her passport. So she first explains and tries to tell us what the experience of losing her passport was, and then she goes on to explain what she did after she could not finally find the passport. So someone who is traveling and someone who had someone who has experienced losing important documents might be interested in reading this piece of writing. Then the purpose. The purpose of the text is to entertain the readers, firstly by narrating her personal experience of losing the passport, and then by informing the readers what to do in such a situation or such a case. And finally, if you have read the whole text, you will understand that the tone of the text is kind of narrative and reflective. The writer is reflecting on her personal experiences, which helps to engage the readers in the presentation of her experience of losing her passport. It was written in a fairly humorous tone, which you can also mention, and you can also use some technical words or the names of some of the figures of speech that was used to highlight this tone particularly. So I hope that you understood how to write the introduction part of the analysis question. And after you are done writing this introduction of the analysis, you will move on to identifying the other figures of speech and content points of the question of the text, and those points you will be answering using the point, evidence and explanation format. The TAPT is only used for the introduction, while the point, evidence, explanation is used for writing the rest of the analysis. The rest of the analysis, which will equal to, for example, 8 or 9 marks after you have done writing the introduction. So I hope this video was helpful, and in the next video I will be trying to explain some of the other parts of the section A. So until then, best of luck for your exam. See ya.